Hi and welcome to episode 25. On this episode I'll be talking about our Mejet Flatbed printer from Fujifilm Middle East. A great printer for printing on rigid substrates and sheets. So we are really fortunate and proud to be associated with Fujifilm. Fujifilm is definitely one of the leaders, if not the leader, in printing, whether it be in the analog format or digital printing format. They have all the technology and know-how when it comes to everything from the hardware right down to the inks. They own the Cericola company, which creates some of the best inks, whether in offset and also in digital UV printing. Great inks for great ink adhesion, especially in the UV printing technology. You need great inks which will adhere to different surfaces. This particular flatbed printer is ideal for printing on sheets and rigid substrates, but you can even lay down flexible media. You're only just limited to the table size. The Mejet printer behind me is an entry-level flatbed printer from Fujifilm Middle East, and we're really proud to be one of the first to launch this in the world. This particular model is also available in a 2 meter by 3 meter size. This 2512 model comes with a Kyocera head, and the Kyocera head on this machine is a 300 dpi head, which allows you to print with great efficiency on different substrates to get great ink coverage. The table size is your limitation in terms of the substrate size you can lay on it. With a machine like this, you can really bring down cost in your production unit in your print house, because if you look into most print houses who are printing for retail and POP, there's a lot of printing on roll printers with vinyl, which is then laminated and then mounted on a PVC 4X or a paperboard sheet or some type of rigid substrate. So in this lamination vinyl sheet, you have a number of different cost factors which really increase your square meter cost. When you directly put a PVC 4X sheet onto one of these printers, it's just the cost of your 4X and the ink per square meter that you're going to use, depending on the artwork. With a machine like this, you can also achieve almost 45 square meters per hour production speed. And this is a great advantage when you're comparing to the time and the cost involved in printing, laminating, and then mounting. And this is on the high end, especially, even though we call it an entry-level printer, it's on the high end in terms of speed, reliability, and the Printhead, which is, as I mentioned, the Kyocera Printhead. This particular Mejet printer that I just showed you comes in a 4-color combination, CMYK, and 2 white channels. It can also be modified to have 6 colors or a white and a varnish. It's up to you and your applications and the type of jobs you're doing. So we can always have a conversation about it, talk about it, what kind of jobs you do, and ideally recommend the right channels and the right color combination that you can use. And behind me there's some samples we printed on different substrates, which are sometimes tricky. Like this is a polycarbonate multi-wall sample. It's 16 millimeters thick. You can load up to 100 millimeter thick sheets into the machine, and you can write down to films and fabrics also. You can lay it down on the machine. It has a vacuum bed which will hold the substrate down. You can get great colorful outputs like this one. And what's important about the technology is that when you print with good quality inks and a good quality printer and UV lamps, you have to get great adhesion. So you can see like scratching will never affect it, and even if you're going to print really fine fonts which are really tiny, you can get great precision with the Kyocera head. So with a flatbed printer like this, you can ideally print on so many different substrates, but it's always good to test and find out which materials have the best ink adhesion. Some of the trickier substrates are glass. You can print it on this, but it always depends on the type of application you're doing, whether it's a long-term application, whether it has to have scratch resistance. So you have to test based on the artwork and the material. And here are some examples which work great. So here I have acrylic which has been printed, and this in the software, it has been prepared with layered printing, so it has almost a reptilian skin feel to it. So this is easily achievable as long as you prepare the right file. And this printer also comes along with the Caldera ripping software, which allows you to prepare the files in such a way, and we can train your operators and designers so that they can also ensure to profile different materials to get the right color output, to get the exact color that you're trying to create for a brand or a activation that you're trying to do. And this is another great example of labels which might be needed for different industries like oil and gas, for technical information. You can see it's extremely precisely printed, even in very, very small fonts. This is printed on a aluminum sheet, anodized aluminum sheet. Here's an application printer on MDF. Again, just a simple print, but with MDF you can easily print directly onto the substrate without any fear of applying vinyls that might peel off or fall off. This is a really nice example of printing with white ink. Again, a structured feel to the design and the pattern that's on the black acrylic printed with white ink. So if you have a configuration with a varnish channel on the printer, you can also create this kind of spot varnish, which is once created in the file can easily be placed into your printed output. Here we have a structured feel to the football itself with the spot varnish, and this can be, depending on your creativity and design, you can apply that varnish on different files in very unique and creative ways. This is really nice because this is a very glossy finish acrylic, but we have created a structured feel to it on the print, which is extremely nice, like a nice stucco feel to recreate an actual wall. So the applications are endless. You can really do a lot with flatbed printers like this. The conservation of ink is really optimal because you're just printing exactly what you need. When you're doing print and mount with different materials, there's a lot of wastage involved. There's a lot of even material, whether it's the vinyl or lamination that's cut off, you don't really always check how much of that gets thrown in the bin. But in an application like this, when you print directly on the substrate, your waste is usually just the cutoff. And if you nest it properly, nest the artwork properly, you can achieve great results. And once you nest it, if you need to cut out multiple pieces, you can always use a really good flatbed cutter like our Versatech. So apart from POPs, where you can achieve a lot of productivity and efficiency in your print house, you can also do short run printing. So companies that do long runs with their printing presses and need to create short run samples, short run packaging samples, this is a great printer that allows you to do that efficiently without any extra waste and losses when you're doing long runs. So even a lot of other industries like printing presses can consider products like this to offer a wide variety of applications and new applications to their existing customer base. If you think your business can benefit from having a flatbed printer like this, please get in touch with us because we can come down and talk to you about the different applications and what's the right configuration for you. Apart from the flatbed, Mejet also has a 3.2 meter wide hybrid printer which you can print sheet and roll material, and apart from that we can also advise you on other applications where even printers like the Fujifilm Acuity series flatbed might be ideal, or the Fujifilm LED 1600 or 3.2 meter roll-to-roll printer might be applicable for your business if you do more flexible and roll material. So please get in touch and we'd love to talk to you about it. Thank you.